because at the end of the day, I'm just a staff nurse. I'm not the owner of the company. Hello guys. This vlog for today may not be the usual stuff that you see on my channel, because you normally see my videos about information regarding caring or nursing career here in the UK, or anything about my travels or life here in the UK. But I just want to share a bit of myself to you. If you had time to listen, I would be really grateful. It's just that there are times that it can be really hard. I just really want to share that working as a care home nurse here in the UK is not easy, and earning money is not easy. So it can be physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausting. I'm actually very vocal with my opinions and of my feelings, and I usually share them with my friends, but I don't normally open up with my families about what's going on with my life here in the UK or with my work, you know, because I don't want to burden them. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to burden other people with my emotions, if you know what I mean. It's just that recently, you know, I've been struggling to deal with my emotions. Sorry. You might think that I'm very melodramatic. Well, I admit that I am an emotional person. I'm very sensitive. Since I'm very honest with my thoughts, I take criticisms or comments, I take them seriously. So if something says against how I work, I tend to get defensive, because I know that I love my work, I'm passionate about it, and I put heart to everything that I do. And I know to myself that I have hard time handling my emotions, because my emotion is extreme, you know. If I'm angry, I'm really angry. If I'm happy, I'm extremely happy. And I can't hide my emotions, because if I don't speak up myself, it feels like I'm lying to myself, or I'm compromising who I am. So actually this is so silly, but I just maybe want some validation that other people may have experienced this type of situation. That's why I'm saying that if you work in a care home, or maybe in the hospital, it happens as well, that it's not easy. Work as a nurse, as a profession, it's not easy. I've been in this job, like I've been a nurse since 2008, but every day is a different experience, you know. I'm grateful for where I am now, who I am now, honestly. Maybe I cannot say that I'm completely satisfied, but I am happy at the moment. So I just want to share, because maybe people thinking, oh, getting this money is easy. No, it's not. So I'm actually managing a unit. I'm handling nursing and dementia residents. And being a head of a unit, you're not only dealing with the residents, but you are dealing with other healthcare professionals, and most of all, you're dealing with the families and the relatives of your residents. So not only you're looking after the well-being of your residents, but you also have to make sure that all their family members, not all, but those who are involved with the care of that resident, is updated all the time. Let me just share some experiences. For example, I have one resident before that is actually on palliative care, and he has also a mental condition. He is known to have depression, known to be manipulative, having mood disorder. I can say that even with experience with psychiatry patients before, and handling different types of personalities, sometimes you can't help it. So he is the type of resident that curses a lot, and then quite demanding, I would say. If you don't attend to him immediately, he gets really frustrated and he just lash out, you know. So there was one time that he was insulting me like to the bones. And maybe I reached the point that, oh, this is enough, this is too much. So I actually asked my manager to give me a rest, to shuffle me to other units, just to have emotional vacation. And so I did, I think 1 week or 2 weeks. And then she asked me again if I want to go back to my unit, if I'm ready. And I thought to myself, we can't really avoid difficult patients or maybe difficult families, you know. This is part of our job. We just have to be strong, you know, and undeniably, we are just human beings. We get hurt. I took pride in handling that unit, so I said to myself, oh, this is just a phase. So I took back the responsibility. I managed the unit again. Time to time, I get complaints or compliments, you know, but compliments are very rare. Based on my experience, they appreciate what you do, especially when you look after their dad or their mom with all your heart. But if something happens, like if you make a mistake, like if you forgot something, all of the good things that you have done, boom, out of the window. You know, I also have a recent experience that I had a really bad shift. It was really busy. Since my shift ends at 8 p.m., there was an email coming from a family at like 30 minutes before end of shift, and I didn't manage to check the email. And the email was sent to me as the head of care and to my manager. And it was a rant. It sounds like a rant, but maybe if you are calm and relaxed when you're reading it, it doesn't really sound like a rant. Maybe it's just clarifications or concerns. But maybe because I was high with emotion, because I was already confronted by a manager, I was told off. Well, I understand really where she's coming from. I understand completely, because I always see things on two sides, the good and the bad thing, you know. So I don't took it negatively from my manager's side, but I'm quite disappointed with what the family had said, because that certain resident is very, very difficult, like physically, mentally difficult, because he has high nursing needs. Apart from that, he has also cognitive issues, and actually his condition was deteriorating, and I was doing a lot of things to make sure that he's comfortable and everything. Like all the referrals have been in place, but just for a single mistake, and not only me, but I don't owe all the mistake, because other people are involved. But since I'm the one managing the unit, I took all the responsibility. I explained myself that this has happened. Being a nurse in a care home, it takes leadership skills, because you will be working on your own. So what I'm trying to say, you have a sense of autonomy working as a care home nurse. So only minimal supervision that you can get from your seniors, because you're on your own most of the time, and you only get help if you really need it, or if you are confused, or if you are unsure of things that you do in your unit. And so I have dealt with that issue. I explained myself. I sorted out that problem. I gathered myself before I replied to that email. I made sure that everything has been in place before I actually replied to the family. Lesson learned here is everything should be documented. Everything. Like if you have a conversation with the family or the next of kin of the resident, it has to be verbatim. The best way to relay information or updates I think, is through email. It is a hard evidence because you can retrieve it if you need it. Unlike with phone conversations, you cannot really record them. The family wasn't angry after I replied to them. They're actually grateful. Maybe I was just really emotional at that time because I felt like I wasn't appreciated enough despite of what I'm doing. That's how I felt that day. You know, during that day that I encountered this conflict, I I'm out of focus. I cannot concentrate. I cannot do what's on my diary. You know, it seems like I have brain fog and I don't know what to do. I invested a lot of time replying to that email because I don't want to sound argumentative or defensive in my email, because I have the tendency to be really argumentative with emails. I tend to explain too much and not being direct to the point. So at the end of the day, it was sorted. And funny to say, that same day that I was crying, I was actually, how many times I cried that day because I was too upset, because I feel like, oh my God, everything that I did for them, like I did for their dad, and then this happened. Like, how come people just see the flaw and not see all the good things I did? That's what I felt during that moment. But ironic enough, during that same day, I was nominated as the Employee of the Month, or what we call Caring Star of the Month. It was so funny. I told my colleague that, oh, just on time, because at least it cheered me up on that day because I was so upset. That's it, actually. I have a lot of experiences that I cannot recall all of them. There are highlights. It's not only the hospital nurses who struggle when it comes to mental health. I think all the nurses are suffering time to time. But we are built to this kind of challenges. It's just that sometimes we're just not prepared how to overcome this kind of things. But I told myself not to be too hard on myself, because at the end of the day, I'm just a staff nurse. I'm not the owner of the company. That's what I saw from TikTok. Too much watching of TikTok. So that's it. I'm not actually here to rant. I'm just sharing my experience. Just an eye-opener for aspiring nurses all over the world, whichever country you want to work. That is not an easy money here. Working as an overseas nurse is not an easy money. And my advice is for you to be strong and stand your ground. When my mom was still alive, she was reminding me to stand my ground and not to allow people to bully me, you know, and not to allow people to look down on me. That's how I was raised, by a strong woman. And that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm sorry that I didn't have any informative vlog recently. I'm taking my time actually to gather good contents that I can share to you, and hoping that I can grow this channel more so I can reach out or inspire people, especially in the nursing industry. So thank you so much for listening. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.